Welcome to another Xiaomi tips and tricks tutorial. Today we're going to have a look at the dual SIM card functionality of the Mi phones, and I'm going to be doing this today on a Redmi 3. So if you look at our Redmi 3, it's a very elegant design. Now if you notice, just draw your attention to the left hand side of the phone, you will find the SIM ejector tray. Now what you want to do is grab the pin that comes inside the box. If you guys maybe have lost your pin, a paper clip will also work. But generally, I like to keep mine in my wallet. You never know when you might need it. So just go ahead and pop the SIM tray into the hole, and the SIM tray will eject itself like that. Now, slide the SIM tray out, and you will notice on the upside down of it, you will have two slots. Now, the Redmi 3 has what we call a hybrid SIM card. Now, this incorporates the two SIM card slots, but another cool little trick that they did was SIM card 2 allows you to also add either a nano SIM card or the micro SD card for expandable storage. But today we're going to focus on two SIM card options. Now SIM card 1, you will need a micro SIM card. So I have one here. I'm going to call this SIM card red. And then the second one will need a nano SIM card. So I've got a white one here. I'm going to slot that into SIM card 2. And that's it. Now, when inserting it back into the phone, you will need to make sure that the SIM cards are face down. But if I do that, the SIM cards will fall out of the slot. So a little handy trick, instead of having to worry about them falling out, just flip the phone upside down. Now, just a little gently slide it in. I always find holding the SIM cards in place helps it slide in a lot better. And there we go. And that's it. Now that we've inserted our SIM cards, let's have a look at the rest of the setup process. At the very top of the screen, you will notice two towers. That is indicating the reception for both SIM cards, which is quite a helpful tip to see if they are working. If you don't see anything at first, just give it some time for the SIM cards to communicate with the networks. Now, to set up the rest of the process for our SIM cards, go ahead and tap on Settings. In Settings, we're going to go to SIM cards and mobile networks. And over here, we will notice the two SIM cards, the settings, and the default settings. So, before we get started with the rest, let's have a look at the top over here. So we have SIM 1, SIM 2, red and white. I, of course, renamed them to fit the SIM cards that I've inserted. You guys can maybe rename them to whatever network provider you've chosen. So to help you out, I'm going to go to SIM card 1. Over here, it will say turn on. This is where it allows you to actually turn off or on the SIM card. This is great, for instance, when you are traveling overseas and you want to switch off a specific SIM card and only use the second SIM card, you just go ahead and switch that off. Another example is, for instance, if you have two work and personal numbers in your phone, what you guys can then do is, for instance, during the week, you guys can have both SIM cards functioning, and on the weekends, you can go ahead and switch off the work SIM card so that no business calls will come through on weekends. But it's up to you as a personal preference. Now, moving on, you can go ahead and edit the SIM card name. For instance, we'll keep mine red, but you can change it to any one you want. If we go back, you guys can do the same for the second SIM card. Now, here's an example. I actually had a phone before that had a single SIM card, and I always used red SIM as my primary SIM. But recently, SIM card white brought out a very good data plan, and I thought, I definitely need to get that for my phone. Obviously, white was offering a better deal than red, and I thought, let me go get ahead and put it in. Now, when I got it, SIM card white told me that I would get 2 gigabytes of data per month, and that will recur every month on the first of the month. So what you can go ahead and actually set up that SIM card 2, number white, is going to be my data SIM. So if I swipe all the way down to default settings, you can choose as the primary dial number as whatever SIM. So I'm going to choose red, and internet I'm going to set as white. And that's it. I've now dedicated which one will be my data SIM card. But to help me even further, I can even set a maximum limit of how much data is on SIM card 2. So we're going to go and tap on Set Data Plan to help you manage your data. Over here, it says red SIM card 1 and white SIM card 2. So my new data plan is 2 gigabytes of data. So let's go ahead and change that. So I'm going to go tap on Mobile Data Limit. I'm going to go and tap Peak Data Limit and change that to 2. And on the right hand side, change the megabytes to gigabytes. Tap OK. And of course, the next step is to set the data usage warning level. This will notify you when you've reached a specific amount of data. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to 1.72 gigabytes used. So if I've used that much, my phone will tell me you are running low. Also, you can set when your usage date resets. Obviously, my plan told me it will be on the 1st of every month, so I'll leave it as a number 1. Then that's pretty much it. All we need to now go do is actually see some examples of dual SIM cards working simultaneously together. To see that, let's exit out of the settings and go to phone. Now in phone, you can actually call any number that you want. And when you're ready, choose the SIM card that you would like to phone from, either SIM 1 or SIM 2. That's a great functionality there to choose which one you want to phone from. Another great little tip to use with dual SIM cards is when you're in messaging. You can of course type a message to whoever you want and type your text message. So I'm going to say hello to all Xiaomi fans. Now when you want to send it, you can actually choose which SIM card you want to send it from. So either red or white. So I'm going to send it from red today. And there we go, another great functionality of dual SIM cards. I just want to say thank you everybody for sitting and listening to this tutorial. I hope you all find it as interesting and informative. And that's it from me signing off.